you a little bit about this fabulous body of work she's got here in the gallery. So, come on in.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's great you're here. So, let's see. The title of the show is Time Has Wit, and I am going to just be really honest about where it all comes from, because it's kind of like a weird personal adventure I've been on. So I guess I'll start with I moved to Kansas City October 2020, and my husband and I spent the first 5 months in New York. And when COVID hit, my studio practice changed literally overnight, just totally. I lost all of my ideas. Every conceptual thought that I had about my artwork, about what I was making paintings about, everything just completely disappeared overnight. But I still was left with this, the creative drive to paint, and I wanted to paint every day, and so I continued to paint every day. And I ended up with painting without content, which is what I don't normally work that way. I always have lots of ideas going on, and lots of series of work that I'm working on. And even though I know my work is abstracting, so it's very, it could be about nothing, but it isn't about nothing. It's a lot of different ideas of what things are going on. So for the first time in my life, I painted without content, and I learned a lot about that process. I learned that I was painting from muscle memory, painting from, it was really muscle memory painting, and I actually really liked the work that I was making a lot. Really, I liked it a lot. So some of this work is from that time period, and then I moved to Kansas City, got my studio set up and everything, and I still was sort of painting from muscle memory. And then this has happened to me just a few times in my life, it doesn't happen all the time. But sometimes if I get really into my studio work, I'll have these sort of nighttime visions. And so maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, and these nighttime visions I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm both, and I'll have visions of new bodies of work. And these are a lot of my ideas come from this mental space. So I woke up in the middle of the night, and I saw a whole new body of work, tons of new paintings, and the words "time has wit" repeated over and over again. And what I saw timelines and everybody's individual timelines with dots all over it and lines expanding. And I saw basically these paintings, tons and tons of them. And lines expanding and, these circles hitting each other and exploding and all this stuff. So I woke up in the morning and I was like, that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard of, and I really hated it. I hated all of it. And so, and I hated the paintings that I saw. I was like, those are not my paintings. Those are terrible paintings. I'm not going to paint those paintings. And so then, as the weeks went on, the problem with when I see these sort of new bodies of work, whether I like them or not, they get into my mind as I'm painting during the day. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to paint these two paintings. And so I started with these paintings here, and they're kind of smaller on paper, so I could just sort of experiment and see if I liked them. And I really did not like them. Now I do like them now, and I understand them now. So as I was starting to paint the paintings, during that process of painting is when I figure out my ideas, and when my ideas really form and become their own entities during the process of painting. So what I did was I there's 4 of these in the show, the same size. I painted those, and then I just really started to think about what does it mean? What am I trying to paint? And so I started by painting close-ups of the paintings that I saw. I painted them from far away, and as my ideas form, the way that I work is that as I paint, I begin to see the idea itself as as like a three-dimensional object. And so the ideas become their own object. And once the idea is like really formed, I can see the whole idea as an object, and then I can start to really paint it from all sides. And so this is a timeline right here, and you can see the expanding, things coming off of it. And here is two circles of the timeline smashing against each other. So I'm able to now, and I'm just sort of at the beginning of this body of work, and so I can start to explore it from all these different angles, which is very fun. So I feel like the idea is really fully formed now, and now I can keep going. So you guys are getting this right at the beginning of this series. Yeah, that's a lot of what this work is about. And then I also recently just started making these paper pulp pieces. They are made from junk mail and cereal boxes, old taxes, bad things. And I taught myself how to make paper pulp in my studio, and this is a brand new body of work that was